Imagine sitting in church with your kids, a moment of peace, and then suddenly glass shatters, bullets rip through the windows, and chaos takes over. This isn't a movie scene. This happened right here in Minneapolis. 2 children are dead. 17 others are injured. And the FBI says it wasn't just a shooting. It may have been a hate crime. Wednesday morning, around 8:15 a.m. at the Annunciation Catholic Church, nearly 200 children had just settled into Mass. Some were kneeling, some whispering prayers, some probably just daydreaming, like kids do. And then it started. A 23-year-old identified as Robin Westman walked up outside the church. He brought 3 weapons, a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol, all of them legally purchased. And without warning, he opened fire through the windows. Glass exploded. Screams filled the church. Children scattered, some hiding under pews, others frozen in shock. Senior parishioners, people in their A's, tried to duck as bullets tore through the sanctuary. By the time it was over, 2 children, just 8 and 10 years old, were gone. 14 more kids ages 6 to 15 were shot. 3 elderly parishioners were also hit. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara called it sheer cruelty and cowardice. And he's not exaggerating. The FBI be investigating this as a possible act of domestic terrorism, and specifically a hate crime targeting Catholics. Think about that for a second, matey. Not just another shooting. A deliberate attack aimed at folks gathered for prayer. Authorities also confirmed something chilling. Westman blocked 2 church exit doors with 2x4s. He wanted people trapped. He wanted maximum damage. And yet, in the chaos, officers rushed in, pulling children to safety. Parents, who had just dropped their kids off at school, rushed back in horror. You can only imagine that gut-wrenching panic. So who was Robin Westman? Police say he was 23 years old, from Richfield, Minnesota. No criminal record. Nothing in his past that would have predicted this level of destruction. But here's the disturbing part. He had a manifesto. He timed it to appear online the very same morning as the attack. Officials are still combing through it, searching for clues about his motive. And in the end, Westman turned one of those guns on himself. Police found his body at the back of the church. No trial. No answers from him directly, just devastation left behind. That evening, vigils were held across Minnesota. Parents holding candles, children clinging to their mothers and fathers, communities coming together in grief. Governor Tim Walz called it a horrific act of violence. Senator Amy Klobuchar stood with mourners. And at the national level, former President Donald Trump ordered flags flown at half-staff through Sunday. Even First Lady Melania Trump weighed in, calling the attack senseless and depraved, and urging more action to spot warning signs of potential shooters. But here's the thing, haven't we heard this before? A shooting, outrage, prayers, then nothing changes. Let's zoom out, because this tragedy, while horrifying, is part of a pattern America knows all too well. Gun violence here is a daily reality. Schools, churches, malls, concerts, no place is safe. Millions of firearms are in circulation. And every time there's a mass shooting, we hear the same debate about gun control. Yet meaningful reform? It rarely makes it through. Why? Because the gun lobby is powerful. Because politics turns dead children into talking points. And while leaders argue, families are burying their kids. Picture being the parent to one of those children. Ye hugged them that morning, maybe said, "Have a good day," and now you're planning a funeral. Picture being one of those senior citizens who has spent a lifetime praying in that church, only to end up in the hospital with gunshot wounds. This isn't abstract. These be people, neighbors, families just like yours and mine. Arr! The FBI will dig into Westman's background. They'll read every page of that manifesto. They'll try to piece together why he targeted this Catholic community. But as a nation, the bigger question is, will this finally be the breaking point? Or will this tragedy, like so many others, fade into the cycle of thoughts and prayers followed by silence? And here's another question. If someone like Westman had no criminal record and bought all his guns legally, what does that say about the system we've built? Chief O'Hara said it best. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. And yet, here we are, trying to comprehend it. 2 children gone, 17 lives forever scarred, a community shaken, and a country once again asking, how many more? If you've made it this far, don't just click away. Share this story. Talk about it with someone today. Because silence is exactly what allows tragedies like this to keep repeating. And if you believe, like I do, that no child should die in a pew, in a classroom, or anywhere they should feel safe, then let's not just watch the news. Let's demand better. Because the real question is, when will never again actually mean never again?